In just a minute, I'm going to show you the chart for GLYC Glycomimentics, a little biotech, and there is so much to learn from this chart. I'm going to show you what a power play is. This chart, by the way, it went off the rails. It took off and then absolutely imploded. But anyway, I'm going to teach you what a power play is. I'm going to talk about biotechs and small price stocks. I'm going to talk about selling into strength. I'm going to talk about preparing for the unexpected, if you will. And so yeah, let's get to the chart. Before we do, just remember, this is just for entertainment. I'm just trying to entertain you and myself and teach you a little bit of strategy and technical analysis. And with that, let's look at the chart. All right, so here is our chart, GLYC Glycomimentics. It's a little tiny biotech developing drugs for rare diseases. And as you can see, it did spectacularly well, going up 400% in a few months. And then it absolutely imploded on February 15th, down 65%. So there are so many things to talk about. First of all, in general, this is a very low price stock, under $4. And a few months ago, it was under $1. And low price stocks are notoriously volatile. They have wild price action. They are prone to big gap ups to the upside and the downside. So should you play these? Well, it depends on your stomach for risk. I really stay away from anything under $1. If its chart is absolutely perfect, like in this case, I will sometimes play these tiny little rascals, but you got to keep your position small, you got to keep your stop tight, and you got to be emotionally ready for taking the big hit. Secondly, this is a biotech. Biotechs are inherently the risky, well, I don't know, maybe that's true. They certainly are a very risky industry unless you have some big boring behemoth like Lilly. Biotech's price action is wild and loose. They're bucking broncos, and they are prone to big moves. You can get a lot of alpha out of them, but you can take big losses in a hurry. So again, tight stops, smaller position sizes. And then the other thing that the pros do, which I didn't do for 20 years, and which I'm doing now and the last 5 years or so, is selling into strength. When you have these any stock, but particularly when you are in a bucking bronco, as soon as you get some profit, take some off the table, a third, a half, sell the whole doggone thing. Those big up moves, when people get FOMO and buy into it, that's when you should be selling. So let's talk about why this thing gapped down so nastily. Then let's talk about how it's a great example of a power play. So this little rascal, let's go to MarketSmith real quick. Glycomimentics develops drugs for the treatment of rare diseases. And as you can see, earnings and sales, this company's not making any money. And it's not even selling anything. It's pre-revenue. And a pre-revenue company burns through cash like, I don't know, a forest fire or something. So what do they do to stay afloat? They issue more shares. And when do they issue more shares? When the price is going up. So here we have a stock that went up 400% in a few months, and the management seized the moment and sold, I think, $12 million. Hold on. Yeah, 12 million. I'm not sure if that's shares or dollars because this doggone article is locked. 12 million. Let's just say that. And what that does is it dilutes. If you own shares in a company and then suddenly they add 12 million shares, what's that do to your shares? It devalues it. So investors did not like that one bit. That's why it's crashed. So when these little biotechs or any company that is losing money or doesn't generate any money is going up, the higher it goes up, the more worried you have to be about a stock offering. It's kind of like a game of Jenga or something, where the higher the tower gets, the more treacherous it becomes. So what else did I want to tell you? Let me show you how this is a power play, and then show you how I would play it. And yeah, then I think we'll be done. Oh, I want to talk to you about my Patreon membership program too. So what you want for a power play, this is, I'm not sure if two-time U.S. investing champ Mark Minervini, I'm not sure if he invented it, but he certainly discusses it in detail in his books. Basically, you want months, preferably years, of dormancy, dead price action, which we certainly had here from May to November. And then you want a rocket ship blast off, a flagpole, if you will, in the form of straight up price action or a huge gap up. It's got to be 100% or more in a couple months. This fits the bill, 350%. But you don't buy it right there. You got to wait for the flag. This is the pull. Then you wait at least 10 days. It seems like 10 to 20 is a sweet spot, anecdotally. Based upon my experience, you wait for it to tighten up. You don't want it to go down more than 25%. This one is right at about 20. Well, it had 27%, but then most of the price action was at about 20%. You wait for it to tighten up. Now here it tried to break out, but that was premature. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That was more than 10 days, so you certainly could have tried it. And you would have gotten stopped out, and then you would have to get back on the horse. But here we see it tightened up. It gave us some quiet price action. See how quiet the volume is? See how tight the price action is? That's perfect. That's exactly what you want. So the perfect buy spot would be to buy it right here. You put a tight rein on these things. You put a stop, maybe like 5 to 7% beneath it, maybe right beneath this little gap. It took off, pulled right back down to the pivot point, and then it bounced off hard. You could have done a pullback buy as it bounced up. You always want to buy in direction of the trade as it bounces back off of this support line. And then you sell on the way up. So you could sell some here at 10 or 20%. You certainly should have sold some here at a nice gain. You could have sold all of it here or here or here, or at least some of it. And then whammo, without any warning, you would have gotten stopped out of whatever remained of your trade if you left your stop where it was. Now, actually, what am I saying? Well, what I would have done was I would have kept a portion and trailed my stop a few, 10 or 20 or 30 cents beneath this simple moving average. And then normally you get stopped out right here at about 2.6, but the gap down, you're going to get stopped out at the gap price. So the stop wouldn't have saved me. And so that's what we can learn from these things. Power plays are powerful. They lead to explosive moves to the upside. But if it's a small price stock, if it's a biotech, if it's a pre-revenue company, and in general, really, sell into strength, because you never know when one of these unexpected news events is going to happen. And hey, if you made it to the end of this video, let me just talk to you about my Patreon membership program really quickly. So for only $5 a month, I show my current portfolio and focus list every weekend, and I show, I do technical analysis and fundamental analysis of all of these stocks, show my buy points, show my sell points, I show my stops, and I would just roll through one at a time. I show long-term charts, short-term charts, I pull in MarketSmith sometime. These are my current positions, talk about each one of them. And the videos are usually about 45 minutes or so. Here's all my current holdings, and then I show stocks that I sold over the course of the week. And I've got way too many stocks open right now. You want to have 5 to 10 big positions open, and I got a bunch of pilot positions open. I'm just jockeying for position as the bull market is starting, but I'm going to wean some of these down. And then in green here, I have focus list stocks, stocks that are setting up in nice bases. See that nice base? Here's Axon, formerly known as Taser, which is just getting a little wild and loose on the right side, etc. So if you are interested in seeing my portfolio and focus list, there's a link in the description and in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on that little wild biotech. Any questions? Wow, I'm losing my voice. Better wrap this up. Or any questions that you might have, don't forget to like the video, and I will see you guys in the next video.